Right, it's Friday, guys, and we're on a reconnaissance safety mission. That's probably the wrong phrase to use. We've got the GoPro set up on the dash cam, absolutely delicious. We're driving safely, we've got two hands on the steering wheel at all times. Adam, I feel guilty, so this is what's just happened. I needed a Nexus brush chrome double two-gang switch for the job today. We went there Wednesday. I've been off for a few days to do with a few personal reasons and whatnot. They had a three-gang switch and a two-gang switch, so I looked on Screwfix. It was next day delivery, and I left it too late because that was yesterday, so I need it for this morning. And so I thought, all right, I know the local wholesaler. The people that don't like me, they stock them, no problem at all. Rang them up, said, yeah, we've got 80 in stock or whatever. I said, yeah, no worries. And then I had 3 miles worth of fuel last night on the way home from the unit. I thought, right, I'll just ask them to get it in the morning because Adam can come past that way sort of thing. And Adam, someone has just nearly hit Adam off the road. They were trying to avoid the pothole, the other car, from what he's just told me. So he then ended up going up the curb and has just created a enormous hole in the side of his tyre, so his car's stranded. But because it's a BMW as well, they have run flat and there's no spare tyre. But the problem with run flats, don't work very well if there's a big gaping hole in the side. So we're on the way to go pick him up, look at his car, go to the wholesalers, get that, and then go to work. But it looks like we're going to have to leave his car there all day until we can get it picked up. So yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen the roof of a car. Don't worry, he's not flipped it or anything. That made it sound really bad. So these are the absolute shocking bridges and stupid corners around here. There's a little shortcut where there's a little add-on just there. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I'm gonna get run over here. What a place to leave it. Back one. Oh, Jesus, I'll take a good chunk of that. That doesn't look like any farmers are going to be coming in here. Yeah, he's hit one of these cobblestones on the side. Feel sorry for Adam, so we're going a little calf paps here. Get a bacon sandwich, what do you fancy?
Yeah, I'll have a sausage sandwich.
Your mum likes a sausage sandwich. So I'm going to get a little can of Monster from Best One here. So, yeah, he's done a little short. He's done the right thing. He's done a YouTube thing. If something bad happens, just record it.
I was recording anyway.
Oh, yeah, of course you didn't day in the light. Oh, yeah, so this is going to be the weekly video because I've really struggled. I know that. What?
No, just what's happened.
Oh, no. I know. So I nearly took my foot off the clutch then. So, yeah, we'll do this. We've got a job to see this morning where I put an extractor fan in a long time ago, I think. And they said they get a lot of backdraft, so the wind, but we put flappy stuff on. To my knowledge, but flappy, the inline fan should have a backdraft stop on it and the grill. So they've asked me to just come double check that. And we've got to give you some outside lights, but we'll see how much footage we can get. Right, I'm just going to look at the extractor job. What it is, so it was a new build. I did this about 4 years ago. It's newer than that, but they had a really old, crappy extractors that were sat on the ceiling. They open up. But what they're getting, so I've got a picture of the roof here. You got a tile vent on the roof, and it is whatever facing it is across an open field. So the wind is absolutely battering it, as well as the smell of the farm, which is going up into the roof, going down and bypass, literally just blowing straight past the extractor flaps. So I got a picture up in the loft. So the extractor was already in there. I just put a better one in that they already had. From what I think, I would say it was that 4 or 5 years ago. So we've come to the conclusion we could try and put a flap within the first bit of the white ducting because it's insulated ducting behind, or we put another extractor fan on the ceiling that has the automatic open and close, so we can piggyback it off. So you'll have 2 extractors. There's no point taking out the original one because it works really well. And then it will have one that seals the hole up. But let me know in the comments if there's something that you've done before, or if there's any other type of thing that we can do, because I'm not going to do this for a few weeks. So it'd be nice to get your opinion. But that's what we're thinking of these. Like, Adam took a picture, I'll put it on the screen now, of what they originally had. So we're going to try and fit that back. But this is the problem when you have ducting that goes out of a roof space compared to a soffit. Soffit, it's downwards, and I much prefer to have a soffit. You don't get any wind going up or smells going up. But you're on a roof, everything can blow, and it goes straight down the ducting. And it sucks. So first things first, let's fit an outside light. We already drilled the hole the other day, and I'll run you through the process. So what I did yesterday, organise a van. All of these are absolutely brimming. Clean tool bags. Didn't really do anything up there. Hoovered and cleaned all the work mats. So, right, so what we're doing, ignore all the crows. There's a massive oak tree next to it. This is, I'm a few doors down from where my best mate grew up, so I spent years in this road. Bear with me, the phone's going off as usual. So what we've got fit, we came the other day. I drilled up through the angle here, up into a porch area ceiling thing. The meter cab is on the inside, which I'll run you through into in a minute. So to drill it up, but the customer supplied an outside light. This is the bracket of the light. You can tell it's going to be massive. But annoyingly, with any expensive light that people buy, for some reason, you pay more, you get less. So I've got to pre-wire all this all myself, but it doesn't have a PIR. So I picked myself up a PIR. Got to drill another angled hole. Well, actually, I'm probably going to drill flat, go through this side, put the sensor here to pick everyone up coming on the driveway. We're going to get the light together now so we can all do this process together. Don't ask. It's a bit fancy, isn't it? Look at that. Hey, it's King's coronation tomorrow as well. Oh. Look at this. Right. Why does it look like this light? This bracket doesn't fit this light. Please don't say it's wrong. This is the second time I've come here. Give me 2 seconds. There's no instructions. There's no picture. This really heavy, almost cast iron bracket, which has got 4 pins on it. And you've got the plate, which presumably the bulb would hang upside down, so it'd go in there. There's no fixings whatsoever on the internal side of this. No fixings in this at all. You've got nowhere to pass cables through to get to it. The only place you've got cable is to pass through here, which is fine, to get to here. I'm going to go speak to the customer. Back in a sec, guys. Okay then, take care now. Bye-bye then. Right, with a little help from the customer. We didn't have any instructions, but we figured it out, I think. Ridiculous that it doesn't come with any instructions or pictures or whatever. So, let's get our 1mm brown and blue. Base bracket has got an earth terminal on it, so we can earth it through that process. So the first thing we want to do first really is wire this up. That comes off. Poke this through. Bend this. Strip this. Unscrew this. Terminate this. Pull this. Rescrew this. Now that's like that. The whole thing, so you've got a drain point in this. This is a hanging light. So that doesn't screw to the top of that base. It literally just sits in that. But we have to put this all together as we go along. So let's go and get a light bulb. Please say I've got a light bulb. We've got a lamp. Right, so that goes in.
Is that fixed in place or nothing?
No, it literally just sits there. Right, if you then... Let's take my eye out. We need to then put that on. So if you hold the bolt, and I need to push them through there.
Oh, the other one out as well, yeah?
Yeah, so that slams down there. This now needs to feed through here. That bolt needs to sit over there. Why have they made it so difficult? I can see why they didn't do it in manufacturers, because it's absolutely a pain in the arse. I don't worry about it. We'll charge them more and we'll do less. That's what they say. That's their motto, I heard, for this lighting company. Ah! There we have it. It's definitely a statement piece, isn't it? I think Adam would want one of these as well. Right, let's drill a few more holes here and we'll get this up on the wall. Right, so that's on, done and dusted like that. Want to quickly mention to lots of you may know who Mr. David Savory is, DSES UK. He is one of the funniest people and one of the best YouTubers I've ever watched. In general, not just of electricians. He's just the comedic value, the editing, the way he is, the way he literally just doesn't give a hell what people think about him. He's just released a video a couple of days ago, which will be like Monday when this comes out, of working for a angry woman, Karen. That's what he's called her, where she physically hits him and he gets it all on video. I'll link this in the top pinned video now. It is insane. It's 2 hours long. So what I did is listen to it as a podcast. You watched bits, don't you, a day's video?
Yeah, it's mad. That woman's crazy.
Absolutely mental. So there's a lot of backstory which you've got to sit through and watch, which already is funny and the way Dave tells it and everything like that. But it's so worth a watch. So this is going to come out on a Sunday night. If you've got a couple of hours free, there is swearing in it. There's obviously profanity. It's Dave, so careful around kids and whatnot. But if you've got a chance Monday morning when you're going to work and you've got a long journey, put it on in the van. It is well worth it.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, please.
Oh, it might be a tiny thing. Right,
There we go. Yeah, okay, right, ignore the crows and the wind. Sensor, light. So what we did, fuse board, we managed to fish it through with the tails to have a permanent feed, and we've got a switch there I couldn't get up the cavity into this because this is like a vaulted ceiling down with beams everywhere. We've got a hole here. So we've got the sensor feed 3-core coming over to a hole. We've got permanent feed, which is switched to here, and then you've got the outside light cable. So this actually has the joint of all the stuff in there. So that one light there turns everything on and off. But this also has a microwave sensor because there's no light in the porch. So that one will pick you up as you pull up and come in. And as you walk in, this one will pull up for this door as well. So we've got all sort of bases covered. So it's gone a lot better than I thought. I'm just going to put a few clips down in the oval conduit now. And I've got now going to put 2 extractor fans up in the loft. But when I come to quote, I didn't realise, I didn't look properly. The soffits, there really isn't a soffit. Instead of it being flat, you can see the trusses coming through there. So there's no room. So I've had to go and get the core set. I'm going to have to core front and back because there's the 2 bathrooms, one at the front and one at the back. So, can't wait. Okay, 3 things. 3. 1, I should have checked the bottom of the steps before I brought them in after Ada using them. That's my bad. I'll sort that out. 2, the customer had old PIRs in the corner of rooms for an old alarm system that they've never used. So the decorator, who I know, he used to work for my dad, Johnny, absolute legend, he came to cut them off a couple of weeks ago. Being PIRs, to my knowledge, they're only 12 volt. Don't shoot me here. To my knowledge, they're 12 volt. They run from a hub that's normally in a loft or in an airing cupboard with a battery backup for an alarm system. And he got a belt off it and it blew the board like it was a good 240 belt. So I've come to disconnect that. And what I've just found in the loft is got a few spur there that leads down to all this. So that's a 3 amp fuse in it, I think, with literally, I don't even know what size they are, telephone cables or whatever you want to call them, data cables, or with 240 volts running through them. That's not right, is it? And the third thing is we've got to put 2 inline fans in. And like I said earlier, I wanted to make sure that we put a fan in. It doesn't have any drooping, any slacks for any water to condense up in, any moisture to condense into water and sit in the loft. But the problem I've got here, which I'll run you up in the loft now, is, so right in front is where the first bathroom is. And it's about a 4.5 metre run to where I was going to core through. And no matter how strong and tight and taut I want to pull the duct in, and we try and get it up at a good level, it just, the finish is going to be poor, and the concern of water sitting in there and eventually, splitting, leaking through the ceiling. And it's almost the same for the far side. You can't quite see down there, but that one's a bit better. We could core through. I said to the customer, you're better off getting a roofer in, getting a roof vent tile put in, and then we'll do the extractor afterwards to match in where he's put it. Because we could do the extractor now, but then I don't want him putting it 1.5 meters out the way and then us having to do double amount of ducting to it when we could just do it after the fact and make sure we get the same measurement of ducting on both sides so the suction's more balanced. So yeah, I'm just going to disconnect that behind me and then we'll wrap it up here as well, to be fair. I've come back again. Okay, we've got it all. Can you see it? You can't see it. You can see it in the mirror. There you go. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. To be completely honest, as much as I didn't want to core 2 holes, we all are the same. No one wants to core holes out of brickwork. And it wasn't an excuse for the first time. I have done it before in the past, way before YouTube. We obviously wouldn't do it now. But for that type of installation, for the fan, the best method for it to work properly, by far it was the best way to go up, not across. So always try to the customers, as much as they think you're doing it because you don't want to do it, or it is an effort to crawl all the way through that loft, because I would have cored it from the inside out because of the angle of the roof and all that sort of stuff. I've done it before, I can do it again. That's not a problem. That's what I'm getting paid for. But that is, give them different options. Even if it's halfway through a job, to say like, we can change price, we can sort, it might be more, it might be less, whatever. Just try and do your due diligence a little bit of what you think is the best thing for that situation. Correct, Adam?
Yeah, because if you'd done what you were going to do then, you'd be going back there in 2 years and
changing it all again.
Full of water.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry for the lack of the weekly video stuff. I'm going to try and get back. I'm going to try and get back on it again next week. It's just been, I've had a couple of days off. We've been doing bits and bobs. We had Monday off, and now it's Monday off again because it's the King's coronation and this, that, and the other. So, take care now. Love you all. Goodbye.
Bye. Let's start the aircon because it is roasting.
It is hot.